We talk it out from end to end. And if you've got something to share, pick up the phone, turn it up. Real FM, ride the frequency. Talking truth, talking change, talking all that's real. With Francis Pierre at the wheel. Politics to faith, the latest trend. We talk it out from end to end. And if you've got something to share.
Welcome, sisters. The clock struck 12 and On Target is back with you again. You have an opportunity to interrupt us. You have an opportunity to introduce the topic you want to speak about. We are 94.9, that is We Noise FM in New York, Brooklyn, New York. 91.9 and 91.5 Real FM. You have the opportunity to share us. Put us on the chat room that you want, like our program, and subscribe to Real FM 91.9. The longest serving, only success story in radio outside of St. George's. The only success story in radio outside of St. George's. And it's been going on for maybe just under 20 years. That is significant. Sometimes we want the blame game, like we stuck with the blame game. We blame slavery. We blame our grandparents. We blame our parents. We blame everybody else but ourselves. Here you have a radio station and an individual that perhaps people thought was mad at the time. Because 20 years ago you must have believed this individual have to be crazy to go and form a radio station in St. Patrick's, declare himself as a patrician. The fact that he has survived 20 years means that that story could work. It also teaches us that we have to take the initiative. We can't wait on people. We said Rosa's seat for Martin to work, and Martin worked for Obama to run. And because Obama run, you could fly. We have to stop blaming the past. Some of our intellectuals in particular, I'm not impressed with a lot of them. The University of the West Indies and some of our leaders are stuck in the blame game. Everything they say slavery that caused it. Every issue they say slavery that caused it. The time has come for us to give up that nonsense. Slavery was too long. It has no more lasting effect on us. What we're doing today is because we stuck in the blame game. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hello, Mr. Pierre. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Go right ahead, caller. Yes, welcome.
Yeah. I'm disappointed with you, Mr. Pierre, because you know why? There is a big conference taking place in Grenle as we speak, and you are not talking nothing about that conference, Mr. Pierre. It's a big thing for Grenle, and you're not saying anything about it. The Afro-American Caribbean Summit. Shame on you, Mr. Pierre. All right, sir.
Thank you, caller. Caller, you should tell us something about the conference. Caller, you should tell us something about the conference. I don't get involved in breaking news. I have to make sure I understand what is going on. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
I think that caller is trying to do damage control because addressing things that confront us on a day-to-day basis. People hungry, people starving, people sleeping under tent, and things like that. We should address that first before we could afro whatever he say. Thank you.
Yes, I want our people to deep thinkers. When you speak, a 6-year-old child must understand. When you speak, a 6-year-old child must understand. When the Prime Minister of Grenada speak, our people must understand. This ambiguity, these rumors, this speculation, this compulsive line makes me believe that every word that comes from the Prime Minister's mouth have to be weighed, you have to be measured, you have to be verified. You can't trust the Prime Minister. He lying like when horse trotting. This guy is greedy for attention. Could you believe you have a Prime Minister walking around with a cameraman behind him, snapping him? He don't have blessed assurance. And he ain't a Nash. What he doing with a cameraman, snapping him every day? You see the fiasco that was caused in Parliament when the Speaker of the House permitted the Prime Minister to use his cameraman inside the House. In the House of Parliament, the Prime Minister is no more equal than anyone else. If the Speaker gave him permission to bring his cameraman, then everybody else should be given permission. The other members of the Parliament should have declared spy in Parliament and asked him to remove the cameraman. Then spying took place on one of the female ministers, the female members of Parliament. They were spying on their cell phone, their personal cell phone. We have to be careful with this Prime Minister. This Prime Minister entered agreement to build a new hospital. It was our program that declared that hospital will cost over $500 million to build the structure. Over $500 million to build the structure. Government never declared what the cost of the hospital will be. Based upon the information we have, we heard it was over 500 million. And we said it. Just as how we told you that number 10 get over 160,000. Free trip to America and England, plus. Just as we said to you that the gracious offer was $100,000. We don't know what the sweet spot was. When you have a leader that hides information, you have to be careful. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, go right ahead.
Mr. Pierre, this morning I heard somebody talking, I said that thing like if they don't live in Grenle, you know, they must know come or somebody must tell them. Hotel full up, this full up, that full up, the economy, how the economy building in 3 years time, for the time they in power, 3 years now, the economy building up. How we big people like to talk all talk so. Mr. Pierre, what I see are going on in Africa, check it out what's going on in Africa. They don't have food, they don't have clothes, they're suffering from, I don't know what to tell you. When we come in here and doing like everything is good in we country, we have to stop this foolish thing and them Don't let be them people and them what fool in the pocket they don't let them fool you. Africa can't come and tell me I'm watching on the news, flying people mouth these, they're naked, they're hungry, and you're coming in Grenada here and telling me everything is well, Mr. Pierre. I don't understand us. I don't understand us. Trust me, Mr. Pierre. Enjoy your rest of the day.
Yes. The continent of Africa is a very rich continent. You have a lot of poor people in Africa. In fact, some of the most poorest people in the world, but you also have very, very rich people in Africa. Africa have perhaps every possible minerals and diamonds and gold and oil in the world. The African economy has been bad managed by the African leaders. They like to blame everybody else for the bad management. They have not settled down. They have had coup d'etat after coup d'etat. And they're always blaming other countries for their mismanagement. When Donald Trump cut out U.S. aid program for about 90 days, and some people jumping up and say, why Africa don't have African aid? Africa is rich enough to provide more for the people. Africa have one of the largest young population. And that is a very important thing for us, a young population. In the Caribbean, all the countries in the Caribbean, we need to be concerned about our population. All the countries in the Caribbean except Haiti have dwindling population. So when you don't have a young population, you need to be concerned. But some of the Caribbean leaders behaving just as the African leaders. They're looking for people to blame. We get stuck on blaming the white man for slavery. The University of the West Indies blaming the white man for slavery. Beckles in Jamaica blaming the white man for slavery. But the black man been selling slaves for 700 years before the white man go and buy. If you want reparation money, you must go to the African leaders too for reparation money. I would not raise a finger, not a finger, to help black people get reparation money. If you get money, say thank God. If money fall from the sky like manna from the white man, say thank God. But the black man is equally, if not more responsible for selling the children in slavery. If you give Deacon Mitchell a chance now, he's selling all them poor NNP. He call them classless. He consider them as commoners and beggy. You cannot speak to one of those NDC militants for 5 minutes and disagree with them if they don't call you dumb and stupid. Deacon Mitchell said the only reason NNP getting assistance is because he don't know who the real NDC is. Deacon is aware that they won the election because a number of NNP support them. But he still don't want to assist them. Ask Cultureman and the other militants. And my cousin Blash, they want them starve. Let a pound stone in the river. Their heart is bitter as a rime that come from the aloes tree. They want them starve. Look at what Lennox Andrew did to the farmers in Maribor. Lennox Andrew, the minister, cut off the water. Or he caused the water to be cut off. He didn't go physically and cut it off. Cut off the water from the farmers in Maribor, irrespective of the cry of the farmers. Lennox Andrew ably supported by the parliamentary representative for St. Andrews Northwest, his good friend. They work together and cause the water to be cut off because they suspect some of them farmers is NNP. If that is not a crime, tell me what is. If they get a chance to sell them in slavery, they'll sell Cousin Blash and collect them and sell them in slavery. Lennox Andrew and the parliamentary representative for St. Andrews Northwest, both of them, the parents, the poor like church mice. So they're not from the privilegencia group. They're well certificated. And as such, they believe they have been promoted to a social class. That is our problem in Grenada. That's where our problem lies in Grenada. Our own people are doing everything in their power to destroy those who they believe is against them. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, how are you doing, sir?
Great, man. Good, man.
Well, I want to know what's more important. You might tell me. Now, people call and ask, when that they go, goddamn people pledge, is a loan or a grant. But I don't think a bank is going to give you a grant, to build a hospital and you already have one. So, I mean, who is smart there, yeah? The point I'm trying to make is that we have a company named Grenle. And that company is ours. That company needs some engine right now. Because there's a need for power in this country. Every day somebody's building a house. Every day new businesses popping up. So power is very important, and the company needs to sell power. But right now, most of the engines are done. They're renting from Trinidad. They are renting engines from Trinidad. So they go to the government and say, look, we need to buy some engines. An engine may cost about 20 million. So Pierre is going to give you about $100 million. You put $100 million into Grenle, in a few years, you're going to make a return on that investment, and the company will be at a float. Now, we choose to go and build a hospital. We already have one. We don't really need one. We need to put things in the hospital to make the hospital work better. But we choose to go down that road. So who is smart, I don't know. The point I'm making is that we go outside of Grenada and get a company to come and power up Grenle. Mr. Martin, we go and get a company to come and power up Grenle. So Grenle can power up the nation. We still get the company the rights to build their plants close to Grenle, to power up Grenle. I mean, this is sounding crazy, but in a few months, you're going to see the effect of that on the ground. Because most Grenle workers are complaining right now. They are saying, look what is going on right now with the company. And most of the unions are not speaking out, but in a few months, you're going to see some chaos in this country. How can you get a company to come in and power up Grenle when all you have to do is buy a few engines? It doesn't make any sense. So we are making moves in this country here to not really improve our life. It's more or less to have us in a kind of choke. I don't know how to say, but it sounds like we're not really smart in this country here. We're not very smart at our move. Have a nice day, brother.
Yes, they say people dissolve the government they have. The Prime Minister of Grenada is creating the conducive condition for the sale of Grenle. That is what the Prime Minister is doing. He is creating the condition for the sale of Grenle. And his supporters and others, they're laughing, ha ha. We watch how other countries deteriorate. We look at how other people do not make progress. And we selected a fake for a leader. He is corrupt and he is a fake. And I think all Deacon wants, he wants to turn billionaire in 5 years. a pathogenic parasite on our people. And he has so much people around him that seems in the grab mood. They're convinced already that when Hurricane NDC leave, there must be another period in Grenada for structural adjustment program. They're going to bury this country in debt, and our children will have to pay. The result is going to be social decadence, violence, antisocial behavior. And Grenada is ripe for the market. As the foreigners seize opportunities, they're going to come and buy. Our people will be left with a hand under the chin. And they have no one to blame but themselves. Why do you believe that irrespective of how the accusations that we are making, NDC members cannot defend it? None of them. They cannot defend it. On Facebook, they say, where were you when the other government was doing same? They'll go after you personally. But they cannot defend what you see. Jenny Simon spoke with authority and boldness. And they used drones to intimidate, frighten, and scare Jenny Simon. They were not successful. So the ploy is to bury her in the court. Crimebug used that strategy because he is rich. He brought up a number of countries in the world, including Israel. Gregory Bowen fight Crimebug and won the case. And then I think he was of assistance to St. Lucia. So if these people is backed by Deacon, the corrupter in chief, they can lay 3-4 charges against you. And even if they lose, by the time you finish fight the case, you bankrupt. Because you did not have money to pay lawyer in the first place. And they could give your lawyer encouragement money. Because when Deacon sold himself in Grenada, in the opening salvo, it was with deep pockets and contacts. And the man on the street say the lawyers supporting him. Who is me to doubt? In recent time, I have been rattled. When Francis Alexis, who told us over 2 referendum that if you have to change the spelling in Pitimatnik, you have to go and have a referendum. And now it seems that Francis Alexis is changing his mind and prefer to sneak a bill in Parliament. I'm rattled. We, our people here, have to stop blaming people. And we must stop blaming slavery. Stop looking for reparation money. And understand we have what it takes to develop our country. But if we have men that is low in integrity, weak in morals, compulsive liars, who believe in bribery, well, what you expect will happen? Corruption galore. Corruption galore. Most of our institutions are showing serious evidence of corruption. The board of directors of the Grenle Development Bank, the board of directors of the National Lottery, the board of directors of Gravel and Concrete, the Public Service Commission, and the Integrity Commission. We are asking them, based upon the amount of rumors, speculation, concerns expressed from within, if you are not as corrupt as we believe, then you have to mount an investigation into the corruptor in chief. Otherwise, we're in trouble. The government refused to tell us how much money that hospital would cost. We said 500 million. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, do you know that we get 250 million to build the teaching hospital? US, 250 million US to build the teaching hospital? Do you know that?
Well, we said it was 500 million, caller. A long time ago, before the government said what the price is, we said it was minimum 500 million. So we were correct. Applaud us for that.
So that, yeah, 250 million US. What the bank of the place give us?
They give you or you get a loan? Which one? They give you or you get a loan?
Huh?
Is it a loan or a gift?
Do you know?
Aye?
As I said, do you know this government doing a lot of work? Yeah, they do a lot of work.
Do you agree, caller?
Yeah.
You notice we never say the government will work. We concerned about the corruption in the government. Are you concerned?
What? Yeah.
The national, if you don't know what, let me tell you. The National Lottery,
Yeah.
Gravel and Concrete, the government acting as agent on the CBI program, the Minister of Finance concerned, the Minister of Housing saying it's a disaster. Are you concerned? Caller, are you concerned?
Yeah.
Are you concerned?
But, yeah.
Are you concerned?
Yeah.
You concerned?
Yeah.
Well, that is the issue. You can't have a government that corrupts you. Why you think the Prime Minister lines up?
Yeah.
Caller? Why you think the Prime Minister telling so much lies? He have plenty to hide. Why you think the Prime Minister sneaking into Nigeria and Dubai? Yes, caller. Thank you. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre. How are you doing today?
Great, man. Good, man.
Wonderful, man. Well, I am even doing great. You know what I'm concerned about? I'm very concerned that we have to be very proactive and we have to be wise. And we should just be praising the government for that wonderful deal they made with Polaris to get it running. And we should also be wise to see the innovations and the vision of Deacon Mitchell and his team. I mean, after all those years, we never had a government that said, you know what, a place as Calivini have all the good spaces, they could do a hospital, they could think about health and stuff like that. And look at that, a young man with vision. And he decided, you know what, we're going to go forward. We're going to make Grenada a model for the Caribbean. And instead of you praising him, or praising the young guys for the innovation, skills, and vision and planning for just after 3 years in power, I really thought even you would take a time off and say, you know what, they're doing something good. So let's give them some props for that. And I know you're opposition, so you're doing your work. But at the same time, we all have to be.
Are you a government agent, caller?
I am a government agent. I am calling.
Are you calling in your capacity as a government agent?
I am calling in the capacity of me.
But caller, you calling in the capacity of you, but you say I am speaking as an opposition.
But you a while ago said that you made a lot of aspersions and made a lot of remarks. You claim even before that the Prime Minister was using mind-altering substance.
I
heard you say that specifically.
You're not concerned that based upon the Prime Minister, the amount of lies that he's telling, that he on some mind-altering substance? You're not concerned?
You know what I'm concerned about? I haven't even heard the amount of wastage we had in the past administration. Millions of dollars.
Don't run. Don't run.
You know, I'm not running. We have a nice conversation. And we are reasonable.
What you doing there, you're running. You just asked.
I'm just telling you some facts. Aren't those facts that I'm pointing out? Aren't those facts?
You brought up mind-altering substance.
Yes, but
based upon
facts. So let's deal with some facts. Are those things true, what I'm saying?
If you all can defend Deacon, you are supposed to able to come and justify what the Prime Minister doing. So if we accuse the Prime Minister for mind-altering substance based upon the statement he is making, that is a serious issue, you know, caller. You know what it is to have
hearing you saying what you're saying, but you remember at the end of the day, my interest is in serving Grenada and putting out myself.
So, caller, we have different interests.
Path. And as far as I'm concerned right now, Deacon Mitchell and his administration is on the right path.
All right, thank you, caller. Thank you. We have different interests. I am extremely concerned when you have a Prime Minister in a country that compulsively tell lies. I'm worried. I am concerned when somebody from the Prime Minister's cabinet acts as a whistleblower and is being fired. I am concerned when the Prime Minister flaunt the laws or the regulation in the Grenada Development Bank and raid the bank. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
I think this spoke to you a while ago. He seems to be on some mind-altering substance also. Because I want him to point out one project that this new government do, and it fall within the budget. Look at the Molyneux Road, right? The Molyneux project. Look what happened to it. Look at the Cliff project. Look what is happening in Cloger. For any with a sober mind to be calling a radio and talking such nonsense, you must be on some cocaine or some kind of drug, or you just stupid, or you think that the Grenadian people dumb, right? I mean, it is basic common sense. A child could see that something wrong in this country with this government. And I tell you one thing, Mr. Pierre. You see that $250 million or whatever? It ain't going to do no project, you know. Because after them fellas, their fingers so sticky. And they're finding ways and means. The time everybody get a quote, no project in finishing, you know. Right? And this $250 million. Imagine you have to do buildings. You have to equip the hospital. It's a whole lot of cost. We're going to see what will happen. Mr. P, have a good day.
Yes, this $500 million is only for the structure to start with. Because we said bright and early when they refused to tell us the amount. We say it's going to cost minimum $500 million. So if they get $250 million, that is the start. That is a white elephant. It will take about 10 years before you see people in it. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to ask a few questions.
Go right ahead.
And one of the questions is, the government has deferred all loans since burial. Government has deferred all loans. And now, government has taken $250 million loan from the Afro-Caribbean Bank. That's another loan that is on the back of all the loans that we have that has been deferred. Now, we are talking of the building of a hospital. We still do not know what type of hospital that is being built. We do not know who is building in the hospital. If it's a private sector company, if it is government, we do not know anything about the hospital. But one thing is sure, based on what we are hearing about the hospital, this hospital is not for Grenadians. If it is for Grenadians, what about the health insurance to help Grenadians to be able to attend that hospital? What type of hospital is being built? So we want to know, is that hospital for Grenadians? We have not been told that yet. So I want the caller who is speaking to call us back and let us know who is that hospital for and what type of hospital is being built. Thank you.
They put three categories: research, tourism, and teaching. Research, tourism, and teaching. It means, where are you going to get your specimen from? Is the poor people of Grenada going to turn guinea pigs in that hospital? Because of the size of our population. Yes, caller, welcome. Caller, you listen in the background. Come in.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre. I want to find out where this that come talking as that bullshit for you. You couldn't cut him off.
No, we don't cut enough people. We want to teach. Yeah, but we want to teach them to be tolerant because they're not tolerant. But they want to kill MNP. We're not doing that.
Yeah, but what project Deacon and them says over 3 years and things going? You can see a new project, you can see nothing.
Yeah.
All Deacon there to call people he had fall.
Classless and commoners.
Yeah, and the commoners and Deacon and the gang. Look at the yard fall by himself. You say him out there like fall bam bam.
Yeah.
That whole stinker.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All we hear from Deacon is a research, teaching, and tourist hospital. So we have to understand that. St. George's University is here. And they don't ask you for no teaching hospital. You know. What part St. George's University played in that? Because St. George's University is the biggest suppliers of doctors for the U.S. market. And it's just natural that if they are the biggest suppliers of doctors for the U.S. market, their practice would be in U.S. hospitals. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller.
I hear you mention about corruption within Grenle. Now we're talking about present now.
Yeah, speaking about now, caller.
All right. Now, I could remember in the campaign train, the Prime Minister mentioned about serious investigation within gravel and concrete and now all statutory board. That was on the campaign train. So, if you have any corruption, no again. No investigation take place before.
Well, they didn't investigate. The government didn't investigate nothing. They just, if there was corruption, they just expand it more blatantly. You know about furniture's supply where a man that don't have furniture? The biggest supplier of furniture is a come to Grenle and concrete don't have furnitures. Yeah. So there are too much rumors, too much speculation, and too much concern coming from within Deacon's own party. The Minister of Finance, Holy Head. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, I want you to ask the caller why he lost his job on WeFM. Whenever he call again, just ask him why he lost his job on WeFM.
All right, thank you, caller.
All right, Mr. Pierre.
If I tell you, I'm more dealing with the message rather than the messenger. But you see, the members of the NDC, it's all looking good. You can't defend anything. People bawling in your face, and you can't defend nothing. When you come defend, you're telling people about what gone in the past. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Now, we have to understand, right? We have a country to build. And we cannot be in playing games with the nation first. Now, we have a hospital down here, where most people in Grenle can say, well, all right, we have a hospital, but we don't have the proper care. But you're striving to go and build a new one. You say for tourism and research. Countries that do that is countries that have money, have oil, so they could kick back on the oil revenue. Grenada don't have that kind of resources. Grenada to put the ducks in a row. Now you have a company like Grenle who is going under. Yeah? If you take 100 million and invest in that company, in the future you have something to speak about. It's a national security company. Grenle could make or break Grenada, you know. Without Grenle, Grenada done it. So if you're having a company from the outside, you take a company from the outside, you know, and bring them in to power Grenle, you know. Let's give Grenle what they need. Let's stop sending them millions of dollars in Trinidad every month for renting an engine. We could buy your own engine. You're taking a loan to go and build a hospital? That make any sense? So a country like Grenada. I mean, we need to understand what is more important. What is more important to us right now is getting our ducks in a row. We don't have all this money to go and throw in a hospital for research and tourism. I mean, if we have money, fine. But we don't have money for that. So let's put our ducks in a row. So hard that we can understand? Come on, answer, brother.
You see, you have to understand, I tell you, the NDC has always been a wicked government. This NDC is the worst. Remember, it's the NDC that sell the Grenle. After we come out under the most massive electrification program in Grenada, NDC come and sell Grenle. You remember it's NDC that sell NCB Bank. NDC sell hotels. NDC sell 13 pieces of property. They sold property that did not even belong to them, you know. The NDC sold shares that legally they didn't have the authority to sell. The NDC collect NIS money and they did not pay NIS. When I tell you NDC is like an infectious disease, every time you have a relapse, they get worse. You remember in 1990, NDC had the structural adjustment program, where they cut social program. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, afternoon again.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Pierre, I keep on asking myself lots of questions about this hospital. Now, I don't think the average Grenadian will be able to use that hospital. But remember that they talk about this tourism thing. And you know, I have a very deep suspicion, and that suspicion is this hospital seems to be, they will be catering for the sex change industry.
Yes, man. Yes, scholar, man. Abortion, sex exchange, gender operation, Yes, scholar, you start to hit the nail on the head.
And that is my deep suspicion. And I tell you something too. Just so we might see a prime minister walking in our parliament with a upside shoe and a miniskirt and thing, you know.
Well, we will come the capital of transgender.
Right? Because look, I'll tell you something. No real man will have people behind him always going, taking picture, flip.
You don't Nash, you don't blessed assurance.
No man don't do that, you know. Mr. Pierre, have a good day, sir.
There is an individual that confused about the socioeconomic and the material butu. You start to hit the nail on the right head. The hospital, they say, is for teaching, tourism, and research. So yes, some of our people are going to get to go in it. But for research and for the doctors to practice on you. Yes, scholar, welcome. Caller, you there?
Yes.
Go right ahead.
I want to find out if we are blending $250 million to build a new hospital, and our current hospital do not have equipment. And I know of a patient who went to the General Hospital in Grenada for an operation, and the patient had clot blood. That patient is currently in Trinidad to get that problem solved, because the hospital in Grenada do not have the equipment and the necessary medication to help the patient. Why not take that $250 million and upgrade our current hospital? Secondly, we talking about Grenle. Why do we have to rent generators and bring it outside on sea to help the Grenle current operation? Why not use the $250 million to help to upgrade Grenle? Are we leaving Grenle to run down so that we have to sell it? I want to know, are we seriously thinking about our product in Grenada and how we can enhance it, rather than how we can help a foreign investor to come and build a research and teaching hospital for their own interest?
Yes, I think the government is creating the environment to sell Grenle. Secondly, there is absolutely no need for a new hospital. In fact, what they're doing is have a new building, and then they have to retrofit it to make a hospital. What we need in Grenada is medication in the hospitals, supplies, personnel, and more professionals, doctors and nurses and people involved in different fields in medicine. That's what we need. We don't need more buildings. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Mr. Pierre, when I hear some of these NDC callers and I'm calling your radio station, just a night. Listen, I have a niece is a big nurse in America. You know what she tell me? She say, listen, don't get excited about this hospital. She said that won't belong to her. She said they only come in and rest that in we country. So when you hear people carrying and praising Deacon about building a hospital, she say we have to pay fight, but it don't belong to us. You think me so with little pressure and little whatever complaint could go in this hospital? We could hardly even go in the general hospital. There is a hospital we go able to enter. So when you hear these callers and them calling about young deacon and had the most vision for this, tell these people and them, go and raise themselves and let grade and see what's going on in this country. Thank you, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, you see, we must not let ourselves be tricked. And then we blaming people. Stop blaming people. We have to get up and start to think. We need medication. We need supplies. We need machinery. We need personnel, doctors and nurses, and more professionals. We don't need no building. If we want more rooms, we can expand Maribo. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yeah. Wasn't the same when like the present guy was demonstrating against Keith Mitchell for? You there?
Yeah, I listen.
Yeah, is that you asking the question? Is not the same guy who was against Keith Mitchell for at the time when Dr. Keith Mitchell was in power?
Well, yes, a number of people were protesting against everything that was done. But now, in relationship to the hospital, the government is not giving information. They say information is based upon need to know. Not even the supporters know what they're doing.
So, at the end of the day now, we know the government said is information is now.
They're not giving information.
And then after the end of the day now, he come back and say Grenada don't have no poor people. So that's why he working on what he did. So at the end of the day, it's the same guy may try down Grenle and he want to come and take it back, and then when they fall down the drain, now everybody gone back to the dock. So
yes, scholar, thank you. Yeah.
All those who boasting up one who when the time come, whether before or whichever, everybody will read the dock.
Yeah.
All
yes, thank you. You see, the government refused to give information because they know the information they have is not genuine. So they're hiding, lying, and sneaking around. And I'm sorry for some of the supporters. Some of them on Facebook are to hide their face. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Well, thank you very much, and President, good evening.
Yeah, my brother.
And I too, myself, I do have a serious concern. I mean, as a farmer, even though I lost my leg, I am still working. And where am I here now speaking to you? I am in the road doing what they call travel work. I mean, I'm cutlassing and cleaning and whatnot and maintaining little potholes and whatnot, etc. Something that I thought that by now the government would have controlled. I mean, the road I live on is called Dixon Road. We are in Pedmotor, St. David's. And I can tell you, on 3 occasions, this Prime Minister had driven past in his cars with their glasses up, and as if it were they didn't even see a guy in a wheelchair. But I'm not so much against him really and truly, because the Almighty Creator has shown me. And I can tell you, I can express my dream. Well, I usually say I don't dream. I see things. Because I remember Tillman Thomas when we were in prison. And I didn't realize it was him. I thought it was going to be Winston White. But somehow it turned out to be he. Because while I was undergoing torture at the Richmond Hill prison, real blows, real licks with chun and gun butt and whatnot, etc., I saw in my sleep that a leader will come from there. I also saw this gentleman when he won the election on a few occasions. And I saw the destruction that was coming to him. And I tried to tell him, you know, as I say again, I wrote him a letter. And to this day, well, let me just not go further. Let me say praises to the Honorable, well, although he's not really there anymore, Dr. Keith Mitchell. Although I disagreed with him on some occasions, certain times and whatnot, etc., but I can tell you, I wrote him a letter on 2 occasions, and on both occasions he responded. Also, the gentleman who was responsible for St. David's, his name is slipping me right now.
Oliver Joseph.
Lennox, Leo Joseph, whatever. this gentleman or these two gentlemen, and I can tell you, I have a memoir where I live because losing my foot 5 years ago, and I didn't know how I was going to be able to come out from the house, to go anywhere and whatnot, etc. And I did write him, and then he referred me to Lennox Joseph, Leo Joseph, whatever his name was. And the truth is, they have responded to me. And as I said on both occasions, a letter of acknowledgement would make me feel so happy. I wrote all of these ministers that are sitting down in office now, probably with just the exception of one or two. Gaetan, Jonathan, Lacrette. I don't know, because I can't swear that they have received the letter. But should they, or if they had done so, and they did not respond to me, and my God, I'm in a wheelchair, they make me feel despondent. The very relief program, and I don't know what is actually happening. And by gosh, if you come where I live right now, you'll see all the work that I've done, what I've planted, what I'm reaping, whatever. Never mind, I'm one-footed, but I'm certain.
And don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Those who has their 2 feet and cannot, and I repeat, cannot function. And I give all of them a challenge. Bring your wife. Come, let she come and spend a night with me. Let me fix her for all you.
Yes, thank you, caller. We're happy. That is the last caller for the day. And we are concerned about our position from day one. Grenada do not need a new hospital. What we need is to have doctors, nurses, and perhaps psychologists 24/7 or 5 days for the week in St. Patrick's and St. John. That would take care of the furthest point of St. George's. We can add 30 rooms to Princess Alice Hospital. There is enough land there. We can add to St. George's Hospital in the area where Duncan Ward was and where the psychiatric unit was. So there is absolutely no need for a new hospital. The government wants to build a teaching hospital. We ask for who? A tourist hospital. We ask for who? And a research hospital. We ask why? This government is not very liberal with information. And as such, they let rumors and speculation, they give it fertilizer to grow. Their main supporters are practically violent, verbally and intimidating and bullying others. And they need to cease and desist. You see, when you have a government is doing things and you can't defend them, it look bad for you. I feel bad for them. They cannot defend the wrongs and the excesses and the corrupt acts that the government is doing. And it's not only people who you perceive to be NNP that saying the government is corrupt. Lacrette say the government is corrupt. The Minister of Finance is concerned. The Minister of Housing says it's a disaster. So even from within the cabinet, you have members who are extremely concerned. And you cannot defend the things we are calling on you to explain and to justify. You cannot do it. We back with you again tomorrow between 12 and 1 when we have another opportunity to punch. On Friday, I think it's a holiday, so we will not be here. But we always want to thank those who participate in the program and those who contribute. We highly appreciate you. We welcome you, and we encourage you to participate again. And subscribe, like, and share our program. Thank you very much.
Target with Francis Pierre.